Okay, we're going to get ready to start our entry-level video. This video in particular is to demonstrate the controls for the RealFlight 9.5 software. So we're going to start. If you notice the radio on the right side of the screen, when I move the sticks, you can see exactly what I'm doing. So this will help you get your controls down for the flight. So, for the left stick, which is the one that I'm moving, if you go forward, it's your throttle. If you go to the left, it makes the tail of the plane turn to the left. If you go to the right, it makes the tail of the plane go to the right. So both of these are important, and this control is known as your rudder, just like on a ship. You can turn flat on the ground, just like driving a car. Give it a little bit of gas. You use the rudder to steer the aircraft on the ground, which we call taxiing. We'll be practicing taxiing this week and in your free time. Alright, not giving it a lot of gas, just enough to get it moving. Okay, now on the right stick, which is this one, if you go to the left, your left aileron goes up, your right aileron goes down, which helps you make a left banking turn. If you go to the right, your right aileron goes up, your left aileron goes down. Left, right, left, right. Okay? So when we start doing our turns, we don't have to go all the way to the extreme, just a little. That's all you need. You can see it's barely moving to make a left turn, right turn. Now to go up, you use your elevator. So pulling back on the right stick causes you to go up on your elevator. Pushing forward on the right stick causes you to go down. Okay? Up, down. It's kind of the opposite of what you would think. Alright? But when you practice, get used to these controls. So to go up, you pull back. To go down, you push forward. Alright? Now, when you're flying, you're going to be combining all these controls at the same time. But we're going to start with a much easier plane to get you started. And we'll be using a trainer so that you're there familiar with the controls and it's not as aggressive as one of these. But this plane has been used just to show you the control surfaces of the plane and how they react. So now I'm going to demonstrate a taxi. I'm going to drive down to one end of the runway, turn around and come back. Give it just a little gas to get it moving. Then you use your rudder to turn it very slowly. Just drive it down the runway. You get to the end where you want to turn around, you're going to slow down. I'm positioning myself to the right so I can turn left and stay on the runway. Turn. When you're done turning, center your stick, give it a little bit more gas. This is the approach you'll be taking for takeoffs. Alright, we'll get to that lesson later. Alright, so on landings, you can just let it slow down with its own speed. Come to a stop. Alright, so this will be your task for this week, to get used to the controls and to get used to taxiing up and down the runway while trying to stay on the runway. Now, some other controls we're going to get into is, if you notice, this control for the rudder goes left and right. Sometimes when you're flying, if your plane's not flying straight, if it's drifting to one side or the other, you have to keep making small corrections. See that button there that's lighting up red? That's me sliding it to the left. Same thing on your controllers in the same position, and sliding to the right. Now if you look at the rudder of the plane, you will notice right here, as I slide this slider, you'll see it shift a little bit. Okay, everybody see that? That's fine tuning. So you can fine tune how your control surfaces are positioned. And to get it back to the center, just keep going here until you see it disappear. One beep at a time, and then you'll know it's centered once it's there. So now it's back in the center. Same for your throttle. You can throttle up, or back down. We're going to keep that one centered at all times. Now for your ailerons, more to the left side, more to the right side, and as you move each one of these, you'll see on the airplane it's adjusting. Okay, so back to the center, and you always start from the center position. And same for our elevator. All the way up, all the way down. So once we get to the actual flying part, this is how we'll fine-tune our aircraft. Now your planes on here shouldn't need much trim at all. They're already preset. Okay, one other thing I want you to notice is here on the radio, all of your switches should be all the way forward. So before we start a flight, you're going to make sure that all of them are all the way forward, pushing away from you. The knob we're not worried about. And they actually have numbers and letters on them. If this says G right here, it'll be G on your radio. If it says H back there or F, it'll be the exact same one on your radio. Okay? So before you do any of your flights, you're going to make sure your radio looks like this, with all your switches forward, all of your trims set to 0, and your throttle down. Okay? And this will get us set up for our first flights. If you have any questions, I will be available during class for the hour that we have you, as well as at least once a week for online sessions.